Okay, step 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understand Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. So the image I came up with that is creation and evolution. That here we have the egg and the sperm, that once upon a time I was an egg in my mother there was an egg in my mother and sperm in my dad, and that those two came together, and when the DNA from the two zipped together, that was the creation of me. The continued creation of me is that I evolved into a sustainable life that could leave the womb and come out into the world. And from there, I continued to evolve in creating myself. My body continued to sustain itself with the energy of life, and it continued to evolve and become from an infant to a child to an adolescent to an adult to an older adult. And so I was not born as an adult, that I had to evolve from an egg and a sperm zipping together to have the DNA in one cell that then divided and we continued to evolve and then create that infant and then to where I am now. So that moms are glad that babies are not born as full-grown adults, and so we are not. We evolve, but I think that evolution in that way is a part of the creation process. And so when I think of this step, it's becoming more understanding of what God is. Again, for me, it's the creation, it's the evolution, it's the energy of life, Holy Spirit. So lots of ways of saying it, but those are the things that I have an understanding of, that I have conviction to, and that have served me in maintaining my recovery and maintaining my values. And when I turn my will and my life over to a care of God, it is that creator and the maintenance part of the Holy Spirit. So once again, I'm not trying to sell anybody on having a belief in God that is the same as mine. That whatever belief that you have, if it's not you that is your God or your higher power, then I hope that it works well for you, and that everybody should have their own understanding. And so again, I'm not trying to convince anybody to think differently, to be differently. I'm just to come to my way, that my way is not the only way, and I understand that, I accept that, but this is what worked for me, and so I'm just sharing my perspective, my point of view, what has worked for me. If there's something that you can take away from that, but by no means do I have a complete comprehension of everything that God is. That God is absolutely beyond my comprehension, and beyond the comprehension of any person. So even when you're connected to that spirit, you only understand as much as you can possibly understand, and we can't understand everything. So, but it's better to understand something than to understand nothing. So I sought to have a greater understanding of God and a higher power, and through doing that, it helped me in my recovery. So, so this is kind of the creation and evolution process here moving along. So we evolve into a certain balance where we have our physical person and our spiritual person, and there's a flow of life that moves in that, in the way that my life has been, the way that I view it. There's a flow that I moved through as the years happen, but time doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to mature and grow as a person. That certainly I have had periods in my life where I was very stuck and was not growing. So it's passing of time, but it's also dealing with life experiences in a way that matures me and allows me to become a better quality of person, as I move forward. So I spend as much time as I possibly can being in the service of others, trying to help other people. That's why I'm doing the presentation that I'm doing now with this, is that I want to be able to be of service to people throughout my life and for the rest of my life. So that's all I've really got on the step 11.